At our next session, my friend had tales of emerging success. He had made many sales, and yet he knew he still had lots to learn. You know, I'm beginning to make the easy sales. If I can find something in common, I have a good time. If I ask a couple of questions and they respond openly and honestly, then I feel good and respond directly to their needs. But what can I do if the chemistry doesn't seem to be there? I've got the feeling that I can sell to some people and not to others. Am I crazy? You're not crazy, I said. You're human. And many of my clients go through the exact same thing. And that's why I created the facts. You'll learn how to sell to people the way they want to be sold to, not the way you want to sell them. So let's take a close look at all the important variables and review your performance to date. When you make a friend, you create a bond that allows you to ask questions that get honest responses. From those honest responses, you match the benefits of what you're selling to the needs of the customer. Is that right so far? He said, yes, that's right. Now what do I do when I don't create this bond? I replied, let me ask you a question. First, why do you build the bond with some and not with others? Because some people are not like me, he said. We don't seem to have that much naturally in common. Give me an example of one of these customers with whom you don't seem to naturally have much in common. My friend thought for a moment. Okay, I've got one. I called on this fellow, and he seemed so stern and serious. I got the feeling I was taking up too much of his time and that my answers to his questions didn't exactly hit the mark. Come on, give me a little more detail. Okay, he wanted to know if the software required much upfront training. I knew what he was getting at, so I told him a story about how a youngster working part-time at one of my first installations learned the software in a jiffy. In fact, he learned it so well and so fast that he started to program a database of opening lines that he used successfully with campus co-eds. The story has become one of my most reliable war horses. It makes everyone laugh, and it always reduces the fear of big startup training costs. It makes everyone laugh, I asked. No, not the Ebenezer Scrooge in question, my friend said. He didn't respond well at all. What do you think Ebenezer wanted to hear, I asked. He said, oh, probably some boring statistics. You know, the stuff that accountants and rocket scientists need to know. The kind of stuff that I could care less about. Oh, it's people that learn to use the software, not statistics. I looked at him and I asked the following. What are you looking for in a sales career? Money. I want to improve my family's lifestyle, he said. And what would money do for you and your family, I asked. Well, for one thing, my children are only 5 or 7 years away from college, and I want to be able to self-finance their college educations. How committed are you to making a big success of yourself in selling? Totally committed. I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to create success in sales. I asked, are you committed enough to give statistics to those potential customers who need statistics to make a positive buying decision? Or are you just committed to telling funny and delightful stories? A big grin broke out on my friend's face. He got the point and has never looked back. If his 2 girls get into Harvard or Stanford, he'll be able to afford it.